and welcome to One Take Scuba. My name is Travis Ice. I am the owner of Paradigm Scuba in Arlington, Texas. I'm also the instructor for Paradigm Scuba in Arlington, Texas. I've been teaching diving for about 3 years now, and well, today I'm going to talk to you guys about what this thing is. For our first episode, I'm going to explain, ta-da, a pressure gauge. All right. Now, if you are a diver, you know what this is and what it does. At least, hopefully, you do. If you're not a diver, then let me explain real quickly. A pressure gauge translates pressure from inside this tank to a reading that we can understand. It tells me how much air is left inside the tank on my back. And that translates into how much time I have left underwater. Okay? A little doohickey behind it that you can't really tell from right here, from so far away. This is a spiraling tube of metal. This is called a Bourdon Tube. Okay? A Bourdon Tube is a tube that once pressure is applied inside of it, it wants to uncurl, almost like a garden hose. If you turn a garden hose on, it wants to uncurl and spray water everywhere. Well, this one does the same exact principle. It'll uncurl, it'll move this needle, and then we'll have a reading. Now, this design is not the only design out there. Another popular design is this one. Again, this tube right here, it wants to uncurl. Whenever it uncurls, it'll move. Oh, don't drop that. It'll move this needle. Okay, let me try to kind of. There we go. Say it'll uncurl as I move it. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you guys and prove you, hey, this actually does work. This is actually how it does happen. You'll normally see pressure gauges encased in a metal or a plastic case. There we go. Okay. This prevents them from getting, knocked around or hurt because this is a very delicate metal. It also prevents water from coming in and corroding the brass tubing. Okay, both of these are brass, and they can get corroded very quickly and very easily. So that could be a real issue, all right, because this is very thin metal, and if something does corrode and it causes a pit in that metal, what can happen is when I put a pressure behind that to the tune of 2,000 or 3,000 pounds per square inch, that can go pop. And if it does do that, you're out of pressure gauge. It's not going to hurt you. It probably will not hurt you because there's a lot of fail-safes installed in these pressure gauges. But what it can do is make your pressure gauge worthless, which really stinks. Okay? So, without further ado, let's see how this bad boy works. Okay? I'm going to move the camera a little bit closer so you can see this. You'll see these red paint marks I put on the tube earlier today. I'm going to turn the tank on. We're going to see it uncurl. Okay, so, little word of caution. This is not for amateurs to do this. I don't want anybody to do this but me. This is not a how-to video. This is just educational. I don't want you to go out there and try to disassemble this stuff, because if you do, it'll avoid your warranty. Okay? It could also lead to where this could get pretty dangerous, because if this does go pop, there's no protective casing that protects me from the brass. That's rather sharp if it pops. So anyway, that's for me to do. That's my risk. Again, don't try this at home, please. I'm going to move you a little bit closer. Watch the red dots. You're gonna see them uncurl, hopefully. There we go. Let's see how this bad boy works. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Watch the dots. Oh geez, don't move. All right. Now, if you're watching, you should have seen them uncurl. Now, they all moved. What this does is, because that worked, we're going to translate it. Look at that. Our tank has about 2,200 psi inside of it. Okay, let me very gently turn this around. There we go. Now, I'm going to turn this tank off, and I'm going to slowly move the air from out of these lines, okay? So I want you to watch those again. If you did miss it, I want you to watch it again. Okay, here we go. Da-da-da. And as the air slowly moves out, look at that. It uncurls. Pretty cool, pretty cool. At least I think it's pretty cool. Gear is a pretty strange, interesting thing. Now, if you're a diver just going out on a dive, this isn't going to matter to you how this pressure gauge works. All it's going to matter to you is what shows up right there. The reason that this is important is if you buy used gear and you look and you see corrosion on the front part or corrosion on this back part, okay, if you have a clear housing on it, then that corrosion means that this delicate metal right here could be pitted. And if you turn on the tank, it'll go pop and it'll leak, and that'll be pretty bad because now you're out a pressure gauge. So always be careful when buying used gear. Get it looked at by a professional, and if it's corroded, okay, especially if the face is corroded, do not buy it unless you want a nice expensive paperweight, which I don't know, they don't really work too well as paperweights. They work better as pressure gauges. Okay, that's what they're designed to do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this first little episode of One Take Scuba Diving. I'm glad nothing went wrong because this is the only take we're going to have. If you want more information about who I am and what I do, please visit my website, ParadigmScuba.com. Again, I'm Travis Ice. I'm the instructor for Paradigm Scuba, and I love diving. I love everything about the underwater world, and I love educating people about how diving works. So again, this is a what tube? Bourdon Tube. Very good, very good. A Bourdon Tube. Look for another episode in a couple of weeks. I am probably going to try to drain a tank by cutting a hose or two. So that'll be something to look forward to. Happy Thanksgiving and safe diving. Bye-bye.